In the bustling city of Ogun State, where the sun sets behind a skyline of towering buildings and the streets hum with the endless rhythm of life, two souls were destined to meet. The city was alive with energy, a place where dreams were both born and crushed, where the old and new collided in a dance of culture and ambition. Amidst the chaos, in the heart of this sprawling metropolis, two 25-year-olds would find a love that would change their lives forever. Amina was a rising star in the world of architecture. She had always been fascinated by how buildings could shape the lives of those who lived and worked within them. After graduating from one of the top universities in Nigeria, she quickly made a name for herself with her innovative designs that seamlessly blended traditional African aesthetics with modern functionality. Her work was celebrated in design magazines and showcased in exhibitions across the country. Despite her success, Amina remained humble, driven by a deep desire to create spaces that would uplift and inspire her people. Amina lived in a modest house in Umukoro village, a hub of affluence and culture. Her days were spent sketching designs, attending meetings, and visiting construction sites. But despite the hustle of her career, Amina often felt a quiet loneliness in the evenings when the village lights flickered outside her window. Her life was full, yet something was missing, a connection that went beyond her professional achievements. On the other side of the village, in the lively neighborhood of Umukoro, lived Kamau, a talented musician and sound engineer. Kamau had grown up surrounded by music. His father was a drummer, and his mother sang in the church choir. Music was in his blood, and by the time he was a teenager, Kamau could play almost any instrument he picked up. But it was his voice, deep and resonant, that truly set him apart. After studying music in the university, Kamau returned to the village, determined to make his mark on the country's vibrant music scene. Kamau worked at a popular recording studio, helping upcoming artists craft their sound. His talent for blending traditional African rhythms with contemporary beats earned him a reputation as one of the best in the business. Yet, despite the constant flow of artists, parties, and performances, Kamau felt a void in his life. He longed for someone who could understand the depths of his passion, someone who could harmonize with the melody of his soul. Their paths first crossed at an art gallery in the village, where an exhibition of contemporary African architecture was being held. Amina had been invited to showcase her latest project, a community center designed to serve as a cultural hub in one of Umukoro's less privileged areas. The design was inspired by the ancient architectural styles of the Yoruba people, combined with modern materials and techniques. The building's clean lines and open spaces symbolized a bridge between the past and the future, a place where history and progress could coexist. Kamau, who had been invited to the event by a friend, was immediately drawn to Amina's display. As he studied the detailed plans and 3D models, he was captivated by the thoughtfulness and creativity behind her work. The center was not just a building, it was a living, breathing part of the community it was meant to serve. Kamau was so engrossed in the design that he didn't notice Amina approaching. "Do you like it?" Amina asked, her voice soft but curious. Kamau looked up, slightly startled. When he saw her, his breath caught in his throat. She was even more beautiful in person than in the pictures he had seen in the exhibition brochure. Her eyes, a deep shade of brown, held a warmth that instantly put him at ease. I do, Kamau replied, finding his voice. It's not just beautiful, it's meaningful. It feels like it belongs, like it's always been there. Amina smiled, her heart skipping a bit at his words. She had put her soul into this project, and to hear someone express what she had hoped to convey meant the world to her. Thank you, she said, genuinely touched. That's exactly what I was aiming for. I wanted it to feel timeless, like a piece of the community's history, even though it's brand new. Over the next few weeks, Amina and Kamau spent more time together, exploring the village they both loved. They visited art galleries, attended concerts, and even took trips to the old neighborhoods where their families had roots. Kamau introduced Amina to the hidden gems of the village, the small tucked away music clubs where the soul of the village sounds thrived. Amina in turn showed Kamau the architectural wonders of the village, the blend of colonial history and modern innovation that defined the village skyline. As they grew closer, Amina found herself opening up to Kamau in ways she hadn't with anyone else. She told him about her dreams of expanding her work beyond the village, of building community centers and cultural spaces across West Africa. Kamau shared his vision of creating a music label that would focus on preserving and promoting traditional African music in a modern context. Together, they dreamed of projects that would combine their talents: a music school built in one of Amina's centers, a concert series held in the spaces she designed. Their relationship blossomed not just as lovers, but as partners in life and in creativity. They challenged each other, inspired each other, and supported each other's ambitions. The village that had once felt so vast and overwhelming now felt like a canvas waiting for them to leave their mark. But like all great love stories, theirs was not without challenges. Amina's career continued to rise, and soon she was offered a prestigious project that would require her to spend several months in Ghana. It was an opportunity of a lifetime, one that would propel her to international acclaim. Kamau, while proud of her success, struggled with the idea of being apart for so long. He had always been supportive of her ambitions, but the thought of losing her to another city, even temporarily, filled him with anxiety. When Amina received the email of going to Ghana to spread her career and her works, she knew she had to have a conversation with Kamau. They faced the dilemma together, discussing their fears and hopes late into the night. Amina reassured Kamau that their love was strong enough to withstand the distance, but she also knew that they needed to make a decision that honored both their dreams and their relationship. In the end, Kamau encouraged Amina to take the project, knowing that he couldn't hold her back from her destiny. He promised to visit as often as he could and to use the time to work on his own music. Their parting was bittersweet, but it only deepened their bond. Amina thrived in Ghana, where her work received widespread acclaim. She and Kamau stayed connected through late-night phone calls and video chats, sharing their successes and struggles from afar. Kamau poured his emotions into his music, creating some of the most powerful work of his career. When Amina finally returned to the village, their reunion was filled with joy and relief. Their time apart had tested their love, but it had also strengthened it. They were more certain than ever that they were meant to be together. With Amina's newfound experience and Kamau's evolving sound, they began working on their dream projects. A cultural center in their village that would serve as a hub for arts, music, and education. It would be a place where the past and the future met, where traditional African culture could thrive in the modern world. The center became a symbol of their love, a testament to what they could achieve together. Years later, as they stood outside the completed building, hand in hand, they marveled at what they had created. The village that had brought them together had also become the foundation of their greatest work, a legacy that would live on for generations. In the echoes of the village, in the rhythms of its streets, their love story had found its place, woven into the very fabric of Umukoro village. The end.